Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted quickly to give you a little insight as to what kind of power bank I use when I'm out on my hiking and trail running. Being on a long hike for a day, 15, 20, 25 kilometers, a lot of things can happen, and you might also end up being out there longer than you plan, and batteries in your phone might not last forever. So it is good always to have some sort of backup power with you that does not reduce in power without being used. Fact is that if you have a telephone, then you can have a lot of application stuff that drains the batteries. You can have people emailing, you can have chats and so on. And without considering the option of staying overnight and maybe even need to call for help, then you might drain your battery faster than good is. So, but hiking and trail running with power banks is really something that takes a lot of consideration. In fact, I've been spending quite a lot of time trying to figure out what to use. And as you can see here, I've just laid out a few of the power banks that I have been using throughout times, right down from a few dollars power bank here that can maybe handle half or a full charge of your phone, but they seems to be quite unreliable. They do not last very long, and once you have been charging them a few times, it seems that they do not get fully charged anymore. I've had another solution here which was significantly heavier with a small LED light on it actually also. I've been used my Gold Zero here with the 4 AA batteries that is rechargeable, also with a small LED light. To be honest, this one is the most expensive ones, but I'm not using it at all. Then I've got the ECACC, and I got I think it's a Russian DIY kind of concept. Basically, it's a battery housing here, or power bank housing, which cost a few dollars, and then just the price of the batteries. This one is a very insecure solution because you have to use unsecured batteries. So if you put them in the wrong way, you might have an explosion or a outburst of fire. So I'm not using that one much either, because in addition to that, it actually got some loose connections there, and I don't know how to sort it out. Then I've got my big and trusted 36,000 milliamp hour power bank here. But basically, to cut it short, then all these power banks here is part of the history. These two power banks are the ones I use today, obviously for different uses. This one is if I'm on a trip where I am not relying on carrying everything, and this on the other hand when I'm relying on carrying it. So this is what the review is about today, the ECACC power bank. This one I really like. Not only is it quite light compared to the amount of power you get on this one, it is just a power bank alone is 223 grams. With the carabiner and the little compass and the loop that comes along with it, then we are at 250 grams. But weight is one thing. 250 grams adding on a backpack for running is significant. But you get 9,000 milliamp hour juice on this one, so that's a lot. You can charge a good decent smartphone 2 or 3 times fully. So you should be very well covered in terms of emergency if you got things like this. It is waterproof, it is dust proof, and it's waterproof down to 1 meter for submersion for a half an hour as far as the description goes. Now, one of the you could say downside by being waterproof is that it's quite difficult to get to. This lid here is really locked in to make sure it's tight. But in here, as you can see, then we got a normal USB port. That port is for charging your equipment, obviously. And I use this one to charge my smartwatch. I've got a Garmin Fenix 3. Which has compass and tracking and all sorts of things that I also use for regular use, but also for emergencies. Then we got the mini USB, which is obviously for charging it. And this one here, as I said, also has an LED light, which is fairly bright actually. So it's not just for close-up reading. You could actually navigate in very dark places, so at least not, and to avoid tripping over something. And apart from that, then this little power bank also got 3 LEDs showing how much battery power you got left. And my experience so far is that it's actually quite accurate. So that if it has 3 dots or 3 LED lights, then it is at 75%. It does not seem just to drop out of the sky and yet still maintain a lot of batteries like other power banks I have that might show 25% yet still be at 75%. So this is very, very consistent. The fact it is that's rocket and it can be dropped is also a good thing, because when I'm hiking in the jungle, it does have to take a beating. And in the rainy season in particular, it also has to be very good at moist and wet situations. Now, this one is a 5 volts, 2.1 amp max out. I have not measured how much it actually feeds my phone with, but I know that it's doing more or less similar to whatever I would plug it in otherwise. So it is really good and fast charging my equipment. So until next time, have a good one.